I'm Eli Leonard, and my memories are complicated, but not important.
Trauma. All right. We're sitting here. We're in front of the mics anyways right now, so we got to fucking record. Anyway.
Okay, let's do it.
Ooh, baby. Hold on. I don't want to start like that.
Too late. We already did. Welcome to Callbacks.
I started when you said welcome to Callbacks.
Take it to church. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Won't he do it? Welcome to another episode of the Callbacks podcast.
Callbacks.
The world is black. The world is white.
All right, my birthday is June 25th. Listeners, Sam, what should I do for my birthday? 31.
For your 31st birthday, that is Danny Sellers, one of the co-hosts, by the way. If you're new around here, I'm Sam Salem. Birthday coming up. I always forget we have close birthdays.
If you listen to this, you look at our Instagram, I am the black one. Go ahead, finish.
Yep, he is.
So if you hear any...
So when this episode comes out, it'll be like the week of your birthday before your birthday, right? It'll come out on a Tuesday and your birthday will be the following Sunday.
I need help. What should I do, bruh?
Honestly, birthdays are kind of, as a 31-year-old, like, yeah, what are the options? Like, it's
Coochie.
like, hey, everybody. The options are like, hey, all my friends meet up at a bar.
Yeah, right. I don't want to. Okay, this is the thing. Dilemma friends listening, I need your help once again. So I don't know if I want to spend money for people. In
Right.
the sense that, like,
Everything is so expensive to do anything.
Like, I'm gonna get a table, or it's like, I don't think I want to necessarily do that.
Yeah.
But I do want to go somewhere that has a good vibe, and as far as music, rap, R&B, Afro beats, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
What you just said a joke?
Oh no! It's just what a surprise when I listen to rap music.
Oh, damn,
bro! I am
Nice.
actually gonna be. We're gonna be like famous comedians for real one day, and that's gonna be the clip that's gonna bring me down. People are gonna take it out of context.
I love it.
This is the problem. Real quick, I'll let you get back to this in like 10 seconds. I'm getting too comfortable around you, where you usually make jokes of Sam. Weren't you saying this off camera? And you say that I was saying something crazy that I didn't say. So now I'm just starting to say those things as a joke because you always put those words in my mouth.
Manifestation.
I need to stop. Anyway, you don't want to spend money. You want to go to a cool place.
People that are listening know. All right, so when you birthday parties, you don't want to necessarily spend a bunch of money. But I don't think I have a lot of friends that are like in the position to be spending a bunch of money just on me.
Yeah.
Right. But I do want to good music, so I'm like, do I just find a little shitty bar that we could just control the music? I also don't want the stress of having to like fill out a whole space myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we do shows, comedy shows. Like, getting people out is not easy.
Right.
And you only get so many of those requests. Anybody that does comedy or anything knows, like a singer, you only get so many requests to get people out the house.
Yeah.
So I just got a bunch of people out the house for the show that we just did last week.
Sold out.
You know how we do it.
Bangers only.
But so I don't know. My gut reaction is I'm gonna probably end up somewhere with a group of people at like a day party. Maybe there's a day party. I think that's Sunday.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my invite.
Oh, you wanted to go?
Wow, it was a long silence before you said that. Now I'm busy.
Not that kind of music though.
Yeah, I'm a rapper. Lil Sam.
They went, go white boy, go.
Put on a beat. I'll freestyle right. Let me get 16.
No,
Just like I'm not gonna let you freestyle. Here's my thing about the responsibility of, it's my birthday, I want to invite people out, but then I'm weirdly like, do I gotta pay for everybody now? Because
right.
like
as a dude,
yeah,
as a dude, you're not like, oh, hey bro, dudes are still like not about to be all the time paying for you to hang out with your boys.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like, do I sit here and invite a bunch of girls? Like, that seems stressful. Like, I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna just try to find somewhere within the next week. So, friends, if you've been to LA, spots in LA, and you like rap music, R&B type shit, good vibes.
Just bring a Bluetooth speaker to the beach. A little beach hangout. It's free.
I was thinking about that too. Somebody, I couldn't make it, but Ellen Harold had, another comedian had that. I couldn't make it. I had a show, but
yeah, that's why you didn't go.
I actually had to work. It wasn't.
No, it's because of your hate of white women. Be honest.
You know how I get down. Dr. Umar, be proud. But it's like there's not always bathrooms at the beach. I'm 31, dog. I can't hold my piss like I did at 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
thinking about the prostate now?
All these damn alkaline waters and shit. I kill these.
What is in alkaline water that makes me my urethra feels ran through after drinking alkaline water?
Yeah, that is crazy. My urethra feels ran through
after I drink alkaline water.
Motherfucking insane, dog.
It does.
The beach might be a wave though. The beach birthday party is crazy.
That is. Here's my thing, and this is like everyone talks about this. I truly get so stressed out. Like, oh, I'm gonna invite everybody out for dinner, and then it's pressure. Like, well, I should just pay for everybody, and then people are like, no, we'll pay, but then I feel bad. It'll be like a group of 12 adults and like, can we split the check? And it's like, quit making this poor server who is on their last straw, who just got cussed out by somebody's aunt.
And didn't get a part that they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, in LA, they were like devastated that they, everything fell through in their entertainment plans. It's just like, the amount of social anxiety I get, where there have been times where it's like a $400 bill.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't want to spend $400 right now, but my anxiety of having to split the check and be an inconvenience for someone is higher, where I'm just like, I'll just do it. And people are like, are you sure? And then I just put on that fake like, oh, I need the points anyways. Delta Amex.
Well, I feel like smart people, the go-to, and this has been discovered on podcasts a bunch of times, but the go-to is one person puts a card down, everyone else Venmos. That's the go-to.
Yeah.
Unless it's like...
But then people don't actually Venmo the amount that they're just like, oh, my sandwich was $15. It's like, but plus tip and tax, so then I pay $40 more.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm coming off as cheap. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I just think that's the go-to for if you're going to dinner. But also,
surprised you said Venmo and not Cash App. But
black people do use Cash App.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Damn, you're racist. That's good job, dog.
I'm going crazy on this episode. I'm sorry.
That's funny. Yeah, the beach could be a vibe, but so the listeners, this is my little dating dilemmas. You go to a beach. I don't want to just invite a bunch of dudes. That's weird as shit.
Yeah.
So then, what do? Invite all your girls, your crushes that you like to the beach?
Have you ever heard of just inviting all the boys and all the women?
That's what I'm saying. So you invite a bunch of your boys, but you also invite one or two or three girls that means that you like. Thank you for the callback. Great callback. Then that's also kind of like drama-ish, because the beach is very social. You got to like talk to people. At a bar, at a club, is music. You can kind of avoid not talking to someone all day. You know them, like those comedy parties we go to, or just parties in general where it's 30 people and it's daytime. And it's not like it's loud music. You got to communicate to people.
Yeah.
So now I got to pick one person.
And I know a lot of comics who can't even make eye contact. So
fact. But then I got to spend my whole birthday with one person. That's just too many decisions.
I think we should ban birthdays after 25, unless it's like the decade year. You can have a birthday on your 30th, 40th, 50th.
31. But this is a big year for me, though.
Go on. Why was it a big year?
A lot of life changes.
A lot of life changes, new chapter. You're leaving your chrysalid, spreading your wings. This is the butterfly. Is that
like a Bible reference or something?
Chrysalid? Yeah. Chrysalis. That's a cocoon is like for moths. A chrysalid or chrysalis, is that the plural, or for butterflies?
Well, that's better than getting my urethra blown out. Let's get into today's interview
with an amazing guest.
Bomb. Gra! It was a little bit sexy before, then you did that. It made it unsexy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Ha ha ha. We're back, babies.
We got an illustrious guest. If Danny could just quit fixing his microphone. It's kind of awkward now.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Are we streaming somewhere?
Yeah.
We are live. We are streaming straight into North Korea. We're the propaganda.
Someone's got to do it.
All right, let's get a proper intro. Do you want to introduce the podcast as if this is the beginning part of the podcast, like you do every time, even though we've already done the...
You're wasting time, brother. You don't have a lot of it.
Proper intro like we like to do. Our guest today is a writer, actor, improviser, and comedian from Hopkins, Minnesota.
Hop Town, stand up. We here. We made it, baby.
He's written for and co-starred in HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm, performed his one-man show, Good Showbiz, to sold-out crowds in New York City and L.A., and is part of the prolific sketch comedy group, No That's Okay. It's truly with great excitement that we welcome to the pod 2015 Camp Herzl's, the Kor Hakavod Award, two-time captain of Magnum, University of Michigan's ultimate team, and a participant in the Breck School's National Academy Quiz Tournament. Eli Leonard, welcome to the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quiz tournament. Incredible pull. Off the bat. And the Kola Kavod Award. I mean, it's called the Fitterman Award. It's the Fitterman Kola Kavod Award. Kola Kavod just means good job. It means you did a good job.
I did know that. I did look up the meaning, but I thought
at my summer camp, I did a good job.
Yeah, you were voted by your peers.
Yeah, they thought I did well.
That's amazing.
My friends thought I did well taking care of campers for a summer.
Shout out Camp Herzl in Webster, Wisconsin.
22, yeah,
Ooh,
Webster,
that's
Wisconsin,
late.
yeah.
It's kind of late to be.
Yeah, it is a little late to be at a summer camp. I think it was
camp counselor though. They're usually college age kids.
It was like a program director, so I was like in charge of college age kids who were in charge of 10th graders.
Yeah, so that was a normal age to be. What's the most memorable experience as a camp counselor, camp director?
I did it before too.
You did?
One summer, yeah.
1 summer.
2 summers.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. We had,
He's like grilling you.
we had some crazy like this is. I think that a lot of what I could say about my summer camp experience might end up getting the camp closed. I think it might close the camp. I think it's one of those things where if anyone brings up their craziest experience, the camp is done for. It's sort of like we all sort of just keep it secret.
What happened here? Stay here.
Well, like as a camper, there was this massive, like it was 06, 07.
Anything went in 06, 07.
Yeah.
Hazing, that was just
Hazing was
right.
Was favorable.
Yeah.
People love
Why
hazing.
aren't y'all doing it?
Yeah. Well, there was not my age group, but there was 2 years older than us. They had, do you know the game roof ball? You throw the ball on the roof and then you catch it and then you have to catch it in the air. You jump and then you throw it back up on the roof. And then if the ball doesn't make the roof, you're out. It's just,
Yeah,
it's an easy game, but should I be name dropping?
Yeah,
the Gottliebs, the Shapiros,
yeah,
the Tarshish family. I don't know if they'd be so happy to hear, but yeah, their boys were playing roof ball in the dark, nude.
Ooh,
at their counselor's request.
That's depressing.
Oh no, but it was so much fun for them. It was so much fun for them, and then
for who? The kids or the counselor?
The counselor and the kids. They'll all tell you they had such a great time, and I'm sure they
as adults
just hiding something deep down, so they don't have to experience real thoughts. I think a lot of the people I went to summer camp with are dumb.
Yeah, that's a fire cold open. I'm gonna use that. That should be our podcast intro song. Any summer camp is chaotic. There should be more TV shows based off of kids' summer camp.
Yeah. There's just like
a lot of movies.
Yeah, the Wet Hot American Summers.
Right.
Those are good.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Like now that Quinta Brunson's show, Abbott Elementary. Like there's so many things. There's so many absurd things that like adults working with kids all day. There's gonna be like the craziest, funniest things happening, and they finally cracked the code with that show. I think there definitely needs to be like
that show. Was it Camp Juice or Bug Juice on Disney?
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Okay,
that's on me.
There's a show.
I don't even remember that a little bit. That's so aggressive.
I mean, it sounds awesome.
For the listeners, if you remember Bug Juice, please comment. It was like a reality TV show on, I think it was either Disney or Nickelodeon. And it was like summer camp. It was like, oh, Joshua likes Rebecca, but Rebecca it was like one of the first kids reality shows.
Whoa.
Yeah, look it up.
That's a great idea for a show. It is.
It worked.
Yeah, it
Back
worked.
then, 2000, 3, 4, 5. I wonder where those people are now.
I love it.
Like, yeah, it's like pre-Love Island shit.
Yeah,
so it's like much younger.
Yeah, inappropriate.
And children.
Yeah.
Oh, I told Ariel I was gonna go behind the north stalls tonight. he would hug. I told her that. She didn't show up.
I got blue balls.
From no hug.
Yeah.
The blue balls cause no hug. That's
All right,
really
sorry.
funny.
You can get to our dates.
Well, yeah, let's get to our favorite segment, Save the Date, where we take some dates from your life. It's like a walk down memory lane. Real quick, before we get to this, you seem like a guy with a lot to say. Anything, a little confessional. This is a new segment, just confessional. Anything you got to get off your chest? You don't have to, but just in case.
You don't have
Sometimes nobody asks. Sometimes someone's walking around all day wanting to get something off their chest.
I have become so frantic hearing that question. Just knowing that, yes, I obviously have something to get off my chest.
I know.
And to work it into one thing. That doesn't take the entire time. How off my chest. Yeah, there are some things I could get off my chest. I think there's a few stand-up comedians who I don't like.
Yes.
Name names.
I'm not going to name names.
Come on. It's time to get toxic, misogynistic.
Yeah. No, yeah, it might be misogynistic. Some of them might, and some of them, it might be misogynist to say I don't like them.
I'm with it, bro.
Hating stand-ups is
part of stand-up.
Part of stand-up, but it's part of a gender spectrum. There are people all over it that are completely intolerable.
So I feel this too. Sam likes everyone. He's like a golden retriever.
Yeah, he is.
Y'all have not hung out with me much.
No, you're dark. You're a dark man, and you're hurt on the inside. But when you talk to people, you tell them you love them.
Thank you.
A lot.
Right. And it's kind of like, okay, bro, stop licking my face type shit. But
But I only tell that to the people I love. People think I'm just saying it to everyone. I'm a big fan of you guys.
No,
I love you guys.
In reality, I do think you're just a nicer person to people in real life. And a lot of people like you. You're just you're easy to be around. A lot of people, and I'm not. I'm assuming you're not too. Like, I don't like a lot of people in general. And comedians, I think, favor a little bit more than like the mean of people that I like.
You like them a little bit more.
Less.
A little bit less. Okay.
Like if the median of what I like is, say, 50%, I only like maybe 35% of comedians.
Yeah, you're one of the good ones, is what you're saying.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, you
never
hope
know.
that you're the, yeah. I mean, I'm aware that there could be a strong sentiment from comedians who, I guess, fancy themselves in the cool group who might hate me.
Yeah.
And I don't know this. I haven't had this realized. I haven't heard somebody bring up, they were talking shit about you.
Yeah.
I haven't heard this. I just assume it's happening.
Is your Michael Jordan like fake problems?
Yes,
like,
that's right. Yeah. And I took it personally.
Right. What'd you take personally, sir?
Someone was on their phone when I was doing my set. Yeah, I took that personally. I took that shit personally. Someone spoke when I was talking. I took that. And I'm a huge heckler from the audience. But if someone says a word to me, I go through darkness and it's hard to come out. And then I pin it all on them, never inward.
That's good.
As a comedian, you can't look inward. No. You need to go as far inward as you can so that you can have a personal story for the stage.
Yeah.
That's it.
But just that far.
Never inward. Well, that's your motto. Your motto is never N-word, never inward, right? That's what you're always saying.
And I stand by it. And I stand by
it. The fact that you said it again, let's say never N-word, never inward.
Never N-word, never inward. That's the Eli Leonard. All right, let's get to Save the Date. Our first date for you here, April 27th, 2014. Any guesses?
Big day.
Does this have to do with Ultimate?
It does.
Frisbee?
It does.
Was this Nationals or Easterns?
You captained your squad to a Great Lakes Regional Championship against Northwestern on a lovely Sunday. You had a defensive kick, whatever you call it.
Kick block, yeah.
Kick block.
Not allowed in Canada, by the way. They don't allow kick blocks in Canada.
Those Canucks, bro.
Close.
Those Canucks. But a kick block into like an 80-yard bomb or something like that?
Yeah, it was definitely the moment I replay the most in my life.
Yes.
The moment of glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not a nice day. It was not a nice Sunday. Very windy. Terrible for Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah.
If it's
a lot
windy,
of crosswinds.
a lot of crosswind, but it's upwind, downwind, which means the score is going to be very low. Because if it's 40-mile-an-hour winds, you got to throw a disc right into the wind. That thing's going like 20 yards tops.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a field position game at that point. And yes, I am schooling you on the intricacies of of play development in ultimate frisbee
That's specific,
with the varying weathers.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it was kind of like a career-ending injury. You had chance of being Team USA. I know you're even the inspiration for Trey Taylor, Team USA.
Wow, that's true.
Ultimate.
Did you talk to Trey?
I did not. I mean, I keep my ear to the ground. Trey, why don't you come in?
Trey,
What's up, brother?
where are you, man? I love you, man. Yeah, him and his brother Jordan. Yeah, they were good. Hopkins. We went to Hopkins together. Hopkins Ultimate had a great frisbee team in high school.
Oh, so good.
The high school, and I went. I played for them from 7th grade through high school, and I was the captain of the JV team, and then the captain of the varsity team, and then the Taylors played, both the Taylors, all three Taylors. You know,
Big family.
a big Hurt family. Hopkins Hurt.
Yeah.
That's what we were called. We were called Hurt.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like
physical, just
like hurt, like we were hurt.
Yeah.
Like we often had injuries. It was it was a team full of it was a team.
You weren't laying the hurt. You were the hurt.
Jews. It was often injured.
tight.
No, I think in like 2000 there was some guy, Justin Berg, who came up with the name because he was like him and his friends would call like something cool or sick, maybe dope. They'd call it hurt.
Oh,
That's so hurt, bro.
Good
Yeah,
lingo.
so hurt.
That is so hurt. So Team USA Ultimate, I mean, to the layman's would call it Ultimate Frisbee, but it's not called Ultimate Frisbee because Frisbee is a brand, like disc, whatever.
Oh, it's
anyway,
like chapstick.
but yeah, like Kleenex. But Ultimate, like Team USA, is this an Olympic
Clorox.
Velcro? But actually, hey, I'm a fool with it. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy with it.
Is it an Olympic sport or is it like
No.
but there's an international
There's an international
Ultimate Federation?
Yeah, there's an organizing group
Okay.
Governing body?
that gets together, and I think some of them are paid.
Like some of the officials, like the
Some
commissioner.
the officials, and yeah,
Who pays the salary?
I think it's the people who play Ultimate. Like there's a ton of
You
people
pay
who
your
play the
fees.
sport. You pay the
Yeah.
fees, and then you pay the fees, and then the people who organize the sport get paid a little
You
bit.
know, it'd be funny. I thought like a skit, like all of the world's commissioners for sports. It's like Roger Goodell and Adam Silver. They're like the ultimate frisbee guy.
Yeah.
Right, just all getting
He's,
together.
like working part time. He has like fucking.
I think that's a show about an ultimate frisbee team. That's the show. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys blank stares.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like getting Jim Harbaugh out to watch you practice with your ultimate
Khakis
team?
and everything.
Yeah. He Jim Harbaugh,
The coach of University of Michigan football.
had just been hired by the University of Michigan, and this was my senior year, and my team was getting ready to go to regionals, and he had just been hired, and I wrote an article for a satire website about the Frisbee team, and we invited Jim Harbaugh to practice.
Mhm.
So I was like explaining what the sport was, and then trying to get him there, and then we did like a hashtag, ultimate frisbee.
Oh,
Pretty
Good.
good, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
good
For a college guy,
Yeah.
For sort of a
21,
desperate,
22, yeah.
yeah, sort
for
of,
a frat guy at University of Michigan.
yeah. But he arrived the first night,
Nice.
the first night of this campaign. Get him there.
It didn't take him a lot.
It
It
didn't
just
take
like
him any
one
time to get
hashtag.
there.
All right, well, I guess I have to do it.
One single night.
It was kind of like the magic. You guys are like, oh, you're kind of a loser, bro. You're just showing
This dude
You-
thirsty.
you didn't have anything going on.
Yeah, and people were like, he shouldn't be here. It's gonna distract us from training. I was like, no, go fuck yourself. This is the only thing that I will be excited to tell my kids
right.
from the sport. Because telling you guys about this kick block,
Yeah.
winning regionals, you don't know the sport at all.
At all.
And I'm not gonna
I'm
sit here,
impressed.
I'm not gonna sit here defending the sport like it is a sport, okay? Because I played it. I was one of the best players in the country at this sport for years.
Is it more finesse or athleticism? It seems like finesse.
It's definitely both. Like
Okay.
the quarterback, the handler position is definitely finesse and like pivoting and angles and yeah, I mean that's like the quarterback. But
right.
it's a constantly moving game. It's like, once the disc hits the ground, it's immediately the other team picks it up. So it's always running.
It's kind of like a soccer-ish kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, it's non-athletes can play it until. So I think there will come a day when ultimate frisbee either becomes obsolete or has like incredible athletes. Like there
Mhm.
are some amazing athletes.
I'm already
in the game.
starting like TikTok clips of like incredible ultimate plays where it's like
Yeah,
real
I've seen it
athletes
before.
throwing like 80-yard bombs and like diving
I've seen it
catches.
before.
Yeah, like those plays happen, and then I don't, I just think that sport hasn't taken off because it's associated with like dogs and smoking pot and the beach.
San Francisco.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit of the Haight Ashbury.
Yeah.
Doing some LSD, throwing a frisbee around.
Facts.
Yeah,
Spike ball.
Which is
tripping over.
Nothing
spike
like some
ball.
frizz, baby.
yeah.
Damn! Shout out to Ultimate.
Shout out Ultimate, baby. I think you're the most. Out of all the guests we've had, you're the closest guest to making a Team USA. So that's.
I was an alternate,
Okay, that's cool.
so I made it,
Yeah, you.
but I didn't go.
It's like getting drafted but cut before the season starts. It's like
Yeah. Red shirt, sort of.
had to do a lot of paperwork still, right?
Yes. I had to take my picture.
Yeah.
My picture was up with the rest of the team.
You got a uniform?
just in case.
Oh, no, I didn't get a kit. I didn't get a uniform.
Nice.
No, it's adversity in my life.
It doesn't seem like it
Most of
bothers
my
you.
childhood adversity, which I speak about, I don't speak about Frisbee on stage that much, but because it's boring. I think it's boring. Maybe there's, because when you said there would be a show, maybe there should be a show about Frisbee. I disagree. I think
Wholehearted.
no one will buy it. I think if it was on TV, maybe it would do well. If it was done just perfectly.
But everyone taking it so seriously to something that doesn't seem that serious.
Yes.
There seems comedy in that.
Yes.
But there's so many sports that we didn't necessarily give a fuck about that TV, and if it presents it in the right way, like no one give a fuck about
Cornhole.
F1.
Oh.
No one in America cared at all about F1. Now it's like probably one of the fastest, other than UFC, MMA, one of the fastest growing. MMA, another thing. No one cared about MMA, and then like they positioned it in a cool way.
yeah.
So you got to just
But I'm
like
saying
those are dangerous.
even
Yeah,
corn,
that is
but even cornhole, like bags, it'll be on ESPN too, and
Yeah.
there'll be like highlight shots, and it'll make
bowling.
SportsCenter top
Bowling
10.
gets a TV.
Who do you think you are? I am. I'm the
Yeah.
greatest
See,
sports
when
folks
I
of all
see
time.
those sports getting airtime, I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why doesn't Frisbee get any of this?
At least a nice late Sunday.
Cornhole?
I know.
Do y'all actually, are you just referring to it as Frisbee just because we're layman's? Like when you're actually with
No, I
your
call it Frisbee. I don't
people
need to
call
call it ultimate.
Ultimate.
Okay,
I don't need to do that.
UFA.
that's what's up.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah. Pivoting out of that, I want to talk about December 5th, 2021. This was your appearance on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Boom, boom.
All you guys, every once in a while I run into people who don't know what Curb is, and that's why, you probably know Seinfeld. The George Costanza character, one of the creators, head writers, Larry David of Seinfeld. George Costanza, based on him, he has his own show that's iconic and one of the greatest.
Who doesn't
TV
know
shows.
fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I met some people this weekend that in Minnesota.
They're not listening to this podcast.
Anyway.
They don't know.
Eli, one, I would love to hear your experience about that. I know, like, you had you were started as a PA on that production assistant,
Yeah.
and then Larry was like, "Hey, you can pitch ideas," and then you got to audition. I know you have cool moments of just dancing, thinking no one's watching, and then Ted Danson sees you and is like, "I'm gonna dance with you."
Yeah.
That must have been cool.
Dancing.
Dancing, America's sweetheart, Ted Danson. But first and foremost, because you get a lot of microaggressions thrown at you for being Jewish. And
I prefer micro though.
yeah, I'm sure you
I
get
prefer
macro
the
one.
micro.
I'm sure you get macro ones too, but how?
No. I mean, I haven't been hit much. I prefer a microaggression to a macroaggression any day.
That's hilarious.
Keep throwing them at me. I'm serious. The danger of aggression towards Jews is very real.
Yeah.
And I don't wear a yarmulke. I don't wear a kippah or the tzitzit, the little
String.
spindles that
Yeah.
come out of the
I used to live in
these.
Pickup Robertson, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So all of these, I don't wear any of that. But I think if you were gonna find two of us on the street, one of them like that, one of them who is me, you'd probably throw the brick at me first. So I've been lucky to evade.
That's
this
not
long.
funny, but you delivered that very funny. Well, so how much? Because
I think that's a lot of my comedy. Not funny, but delivered.
well, I mean, that's like no, that is what comedy is. That's like a serious subject, but
Yeah.
like the way you deliver it's very
Okay.
funny.
So what were you saying?
Well, there's so many questions I want to ask because
to know how
I know you. One of the plot lines is Larry David. There's a young Larry show that he's pitching, and you got to audition for that.
Yeah.
They miscast you, one of the greatest miscast, or they didn't cast you in it. One of the biggest miscastings in the history of the world.
History of television. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but what
Similar.
was it vindicating? Because there was.
I mean, I didn't get to play Shylock and Merchant of Venice in my high school. That was crazy too.
That's also because you went to a Christian high school.
Yeah, I went to a Christian high school, but they didn't cast me as Shylock.
Were you always in the theater, or was it just like when it got to high school? It was like
No. Look, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
That Shylock thing.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
That's never happened on the podcast before. People lying.
Yeah.
Feel free to lie for the rest of the
That's
time,
all right.
too. By the way.
No, I had to come clean.
You didn't perform there. Your first real performance was family vacation London, Paris, 5 years old, camcorder on you. You hit yourself in the penis with a Beanie Baby.
Yes.
That
For my two older brothers.
And it got laughs.
Put a camera on me when I was 5 years old. And yeah, I was just mashing the area where balls would be with a Beanie Baby. Just nonstop making my brothers laugh. Yeah, that was definitely those a good
Highlight.
Those were some good laughs.
Big callback.
Good laughs.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Herb. Talk about Herb.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, on Curb, what I want to ask you is, was it vindicating? You don't get cast as young Larry. A lot of people tell you look like Larry David. So I saw so many random people on the internet, Reddit, Twitter, who like didn't know you existed before you made your appearance on Curb. And a bunch of people were saying, like, why isn't that guy cast as young Larry? That guy should have been young Larry. Like, was that kind of, did you see those comments? And was that?
Oh, I saw them. And I saw them from people who sent them to me too. Like that was my life for a long time afterwards. Because when I didn't get the young Larry role, at first I was like, well, I can't believe I was right under them and they didn't pluck me for this.
Yeah.
Killed it. And then I sort of got over it. And then when it came out again,
Yes.
and then everyone is saying this guy should be him.
Yeah.
It was almost worse.
Yeah, I mean, it just like re-stoked everything.
Such an
you know?
LA thing, God.
But I know that it wasn't like the role that they had written for last season just wasn't. They weren't going for someone who was like a doppelganger. So that's what I've had to tell myself
Right.
over this span of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I pitched something about being like a long lost relative or something, like someone who was like him but not him.
Right.
And they were like, it's too scrappy do. That was like the way they like said no to it. They were like, nah, it's too scrappy do. And then immediately after they have a storyline about Larry David as a young man,
Right.
TV show, but the way they did it it wasn't really scrappy do. They just like had like someone who was who was playing a hotshot be the. Look, I'm disappointed. Okay, is that what you want?
What is on the PA side and just your time around that show?
Yeah,
people that are big comedy fans know it's mostly improvised. What is it like watching that? Whether it be in front of the camera or behind.
Yeah, that was an incredibly good experience most of the time. Like the process of that show was, people think that the show's like not written. But it is. Mm-hmm. It's heavily crafted. Like the storylines are meticulously crafted. And whatever the showrunners who are Larry David and Jeff Schaffer, whatever they want to put in a script, they'll find a way to get that into the script. But when they go into shooting a scene, there's nothing that is like word for word dialogue that anyone has to hit.
Right.
So they essentially do like 3 different pieces in their production. Like they make a sculpture from 3 different slabs of marble, basically. Right. It's like first one is they lay down the slate with the scripts and then they start chiseling away at it in the, when they perform it. And then in editing is really when it all comes together. Because they have like hundreds of takes. Right. 3, 4, 2, 3 cameras, maybe 4 cameras, depending on the shot. And so you see, like when they go after it, they have coverage on everything and they get every little moment they could possibly think of. They they get everything they need all the time. And then they go into edit and it's like, well, what's necessary for the story?
That's what I was going to say. Because typically I feel like when you write a show or movie, you go in, you do the math before you shoot to make everything make sense. Like, all right, this has to happen. So that happens. The callback to this. So we can't, that you're writing. But I feel like that has to happen after the fact in editing where it's like, we have all these different kind of choose your adventure type shits, right?
Yeah.
And we know the kind of the beginning and the end and like it's, some of the middle, but like if I make a little joke about your fucking collar and your shirt that was improvised, that's not, it just seems such a crazy, cool little,
Yeah.
machine.
And if they find something like that, they're like, oh, the collar.
Yeah.
Figure out the collar, then they have to remember, so they have to track the scene
Right.
of, okay, wait, the collar, could be added to this thing. They have to bring it back in the, another, dinner scene. With
Right, exactly.
What the fuck they're doing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the kind of, obviously Larry David is like a huge inspiration and impact on you, and kind of coupling that with earlier talking about the microaggressions, you get a lot of people that like, this guy looks like Larry David. Oh, he's like Larry David, young Larry David. What's the percentage of flattering to anti-Semitic when people are telling you that?
I mean, there's a third thing there. Because I find everything, I find almost anything anti-Semitic. You could say anything, I'll figure out a way to make it anti-Semitic. But when someone says like, you look like a younger version of Larry David to me, I'm like, okay, so you think that I look like the most unwell version of an old man, like before fame and success, when he was like,
That's such a negative way of looking at it. Instead of like, oh, you look like a vibrant version of an old man.
No, they're saying that
pre-Seinfeld.
Yeah, you're the one that's behind the scenes at Max, and like a young version. He has a few stories about it. He's like, he talks about masturbating all the time as a child, and like, spitting in his car or having like loogies in his car because he drove an old woman and she didn't see the phlegm all over the place. This version of him that's really.
Sounds like you have too much information about Larry David, because people are not thinking about that when they're giving you that compliment.
Yeah, I guess the more I know, the less it's flattering.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You've met the man.
Don't meet your heroes. No, he seems like a good.
He was great.
He seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
Before we get to our last date, just thinking of iconic people in the comedy scene, you like to do in your act like a deranged version of Rodney Dangerfield, or should I call him Rodney Derangerfield?
Oh, nice.
That's good. That is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Derangerfield.
What can we get a little bit of your Rodney Derangerfield?
Rodney is like one of my favorite people ever. And I thought comedy was like, you got to be like Rodney Dangerfield if you're gonna do comedy. Like growing up, because his joke, he just has jokes. Yeah, no one has them though, but like no one does it like that at all anymore.
His physicality ugly. He's weird looking. What the fuck are you talking to?
My wife, she's not very smart. Okay, for Christmas I got her an apple. She dipped it in caramel. But the way that I like to like evolve that is just, my wife. I think she's a dumb bitch. And this is the place I got to talk about it. Then it's like, now it's a stand-up. Every stand-up, if you're a stand-up now, you're just like, my girlfriend said something to me that made me upset, and here's where, this is the forum for it.
Yeah.
If Rodney was doing that, I think that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because he just like was like, no, you got to do jokes.
Yeah.
He thought you had to do jokes. If he saw the game today, oh, what terror.
Yeah, he would be a perfect little.
I would love to see Rodney Dangerfield crowd work clips. What would give us Rodney Dangerfield doing a crowd work clip? What would that even look like?
Hey, who's talking? That makes me sad. I'm doing my best up here. When I was a kid, my parents didn't like me. Why would you do that? Have you ever seen like old clips of Rodney, like where he's like on an interview with maybe Stern or something, and he's like not, he doesn't give it, he's not funny when he's talking. Like he's not like doing it. He's like,
he's off when he's off.
It's really sad what I went through. And I was an aluminum siding salesman, and did that because I didn't have a job. Didn't work.
He's a really fucked up dude.
Yeah.
they're doing like little bits about aluminum. He's like, why would you say that?
All right, we got
That's
last
funny.
date.
Yeah, all right. Last date before we, you got to hard out. You're a busy man. All these shows to go to.
Busy.
It's already happening.
February 14th, 2023. This is a recent one.
That's Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine. Yes, tell us about your brutal breakup to your long-term girlfriend.
Oh, what? Did you really happen?
That did happen, but that's not the date.
That did occur right before Valentine's Day. That did occur.
That's crazy.
That's not the reason I brought up the date.
And on Valentine's Day, I think was the festival, the Chosen Festival, right?
The Chosen Festival.
Yeah.
Eli Leonard, amongst big comics, is performing at a 2,000 person sold out theater.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, real quick, you're such a unique performer. Okay, at the beginning, you're like, you always just say nice things. I like genuinely from the bottom of my heart mean this. Like, you take the biggest swings out of anybody that I see whenever you perform. Like, it is the definition of like, I'm gonna blast this out of the park or I'm gonna fall down striking out. Like, it is just like, I am going to leave it all out there.
I'm Jim Tomei.
Yeah, he's the Eli Leonard of the MLB for sure. And so just what is it like going from sometimes you're performing in clubs, you're very much in the alt clown scene, and then you're going to 2,000 seat, like it's all so different. So how do you manage all of that? Because you are not a comic. Like I think of someone like a Sam Morril who's like, I'm just gonna come up here, say my punchlines, and he's very good at it. But you are very like, you'll be super physical, and then you'll be intellectual, and then you'll be edgy, and then you'll do a weird character where you don't even say a word for 2 minutes. So like, how do you manage going from club to theaters to all that?
I have only, I recently started doing stand-up, like essentially as the pandemic, as people were coming back from the pandemic. Right. So that's when I started doing like stand-up proper. Before that, I was doing improv, and then I started working with the Idiot Workshop, which is like sort of a clown adjacent style of theater. But I always was scared to go up as a stand-up because I thought that you just needed to have jokes no matter what. And I can't, for me, the idea that I'm going to go into my house and write something down and then say it and then it's going to be funny is crazy. Like just with my own way.
Yeah.
Like some people are so good at it, but at an open mic, it's obvious that people are bad at it.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Oh yeah.
Like most
the ones that do it even,
yeah, like most new jokes, especially. And I was like, I can't. But I guess I started to do stand up sort of in more of a loose interpretation of it, and then I would field material from ideas I've had over the years or from what I found on stage, and then I started to realize like, okay, but I do need to be able to work for real people. Right. I need to be able to like, if I'm gonna do anything, I need to
like do it at scale.
Yeah, I need to be able to have like jokes. I need to have a set, like a real set. So I started putting together like a set, like of 5 minutes of just like, here are some jokes. And at first it was like a lot of, and it still sort of is, but first it was like a lot of Holocaust stuff. That's my muse, Like,
my muse.
I'm so thankful for anti-Semitism, for being my muse. For
especially in the pandemic. Hot time.
But I guess going from like clown to stand-up, I just had to take stand-up like seriously. I just had to be like, because I've seen that stand-up is actually a way to get like work, like a way to get like jobs, even if it's like just on someone else's sketch. Like if people just start seeing you because you get up and do stand-up. You have to get a lot of people to your shows. Otherwise, like if it's a clown or improv show, people have to go to it. But stand-up seems to draw in everybody, no matter what. And so it was really just like, I have like maybe 15, 20 minutes of like written word material I can do. And if I can go up on a show night and do as little of my material as I can, I've done well, in my opinion, or I'm happy. But if I'm going to do a show, like a bigger show, like this festival where it's a lot of people, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do the jokes I know that work, like time in, time out.
Yeah.
Just like a stand-up, like a real person doing real stand-up.
Yeah, exactly.
A real boy.
A real boy, yeah.
I love it. Anything else you got to ask, Danny?
No, Sam, you've asked all the questions that we had time to ask.
Took up all the time. Well, speaking of Eli doing stand-up, me and Eli in October 20th and 21st.
Ooh, on the road, boy.
Sisyphus Brewing, we're co-headlining.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go.
I hope so. One of the nights at least.
Do you say he's going last? I was literally about to say I'm definitely having him going last. I'm not trying to follow Eli. He is a one of one, lightning in a bottle. So check out probably both of our link in bios on Instagram. Sisyphus Brewing, October 20th, 21st. You can come see us. Go headline. It'll be cute as heck. Anything else you want to plug, Eli? That's okay. Your sketch group.
Yeah, I guess you just did it. I'm in a sketch group. Sort of you said prolific. Definitely not professional. We do make a lot.
More lific.
Yeah,
lific.
Lific.
We're lific.
Semi-prolific.
Yeah, and I guess the chosen semi-prolific. Yeah, that's good. I'd like to plug you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Good job coming up with that together here. That's exciting to see comedians work together.
It's rare.
Yeah. And then I guess the Chosen Comedy Festival is going to be back in New York, Coney Island, and the Catskills this September and August, or July and August.
The Catskills, baby.
Yeah.
Where it all goes down.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Make some noise right now for Eli, everybody in the room. Woo!
And where are these panties coming from that people started throwing? The people on audio didn't know.
Okay. Thanks for coming.
Praying to you.
I go now?
Love you so much, Eli.
You watched that show, The Idol, on HBO?
I have not watched that on HBO.
It's probably might be kind of toxic for your house. Are y'all like a PG-13 house? Y'all ain't watch like?
Here's the thing. No, we're not. By the way, what a great interview that was with Eli Leonard.
Yeah,
We're back.
Great, yeah.
We're back. We're back wrapping things up. But what a great guy. I mean, you're talking about it's on HBO, right? And he was on an HBO show. So
you're a professional.
Yeah, you know, you were thinking about HBO because he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Here's my thing about like, I am like a prude. Like I don't like because sometimes like especially in streaming because it wasn't the same. It's not the same like rules as regular network television. They would just throw in some balls or throw in some titties for no reason. Like they're just because they can.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is not advancing the storyline.
No. And
so sometimes I'm just like, this isn't. If people want to watch that stuff, there are avenues to watch it. Like just okay, yeah, they're about to have sex. Like why are you dragging it out randomly? Like if it's not advanced, like a show like Bridgerton, there are scenes that like. Certain things happen within those scenes that like are, like he doesn't want to get her pregnant and she doesn't know how this works. So like, but I don't, I'm uncomfortable.
Last night, there was a scene literally, I mean, they cut right before, but I feel like in real life, he had to have touched. Like the weekend, this is crazy. The show is about this like pop star, Miley Cyrus kind of girl, whatever. And the weekend plays like her love interest, kind of antagonist dude. When I tell you he had to been no more than a centimeter away from her breast being in his mouth. And I'm like, it was like a Sunday night. I'm like, dog, what's going on, bro? This is like the most craziest wild. Like they could have just been doing the typical, making out and like rubbing on each other, even having your titties out. But the fact that I almost saw The Weeknd suck this young lady's titty.
This is aggressive.
On HBO.
This is so aggressive.
On a Sunday night, it was like, but that's how I felt, bro. Watching, I'm like, dog.
You're like, I don't need this.
I'm a 30-year-old grown man that likes girls too. I'm like, dog, this is a lot.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like the trope is like whenever you watch a movie like that as a kid, that's like the moment your parents walk in the room.
Yeah, right.
I feel like
by myself.
Yeah, and the rest of the show is normal. I feel like now for me, that's what I don't like. Like I'll be watching a show that's regular, and it'll just be aggressive sex scene out of nowhere, and that's right when my wife walks in. I'm like, I was not watching. This came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. I was not watching this.
That's how I used to always be. Like, someone getting back shots, and she's about to cook breakfast. Like, I'm not a sicko. I'm sorry, man.
Like, I was just trying to. I thought Lil Dicky was funny, and now all of a sudden they just do the craziest porn. I'm like, this is too much for me. So, and I think that's the sentiment for most people. Like, and like I said, I'm kind of like a prude, or like, my faith and stuff. I don't really need it, but I know like a lot of people who are like, just that stuff doesn't bother them, but their opinion is just like, yeah, sometimes those scenes are just who is this for?
I'm not
who is this for?
I'm not really a prude either. And I was watching that episode 2 last night, and I'm like, dog, this is crazy.
Right, because who is it? It's not really advancing the storyline like
but
that.
The show, let me know what y'all think too. The show is, and we can talk about Eli and recapping our stuff, but the show is shot really well.
Yeah.
And I think some of my interest in it is that I'm thinking about how I'm going to shoot this special.
Right. And cinematography.
Yeah, the sketches and stuff that I'm attached to it. And so I've been like watching stuff with that lens, point intended.
Yeah.
And but the writing in it is like non-existent. Like
right.
It's like John Wick, but horny. like the stories in John Wick.
You better be careful of this writer strike right now. Some executive just heard horny John Wick.
Yeah,
let's get that going right now.
Let's hard and shooting people. That's crazy. You can't stand up because he's embarrassed.
God, my parents listen to this. This is awful.
They've been horny. We've all been horny before, at least once. But
at least one. Just that half a time.
Yeah, we've made kids before. But no, anyways, shout out to I guess the idol. It's just.
I'll have to check it out. I still need to finish Succession, so I'm on a backlog on.
That's the opposite. That's probably the exact opposite. No real sexual vibes, but just phenomenal writing.
The best writing.
Crazy acting. We didn't really talk about the end of Succession on here. We were, I think,
because I haven't watched it yet, so we can't.
But you also weren't here.
That's true. I haven't been here. Yeah, shout out all the HBO shows, and if you haven't watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, go check it out. Season 11 is where Eli, 10 or 11. We'll put it in the notes, but that's where Eli makes his appearance. And
he was talking about not getting it. That is such a LA thing where now I'm at the point where I've been auditioning long enough where I'm seeing stuff that I didn't get. And I'm like, damn, bro, that's crazy. Like, oh, that's what they picked. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know the person now.
Yeah.
It is so crazy not being in entertainment at all. Like me living in Minnesota and just not having these aspirations, and now still new to this, like 2 years. It's like I know SNL cast members now. I'm not like tight with any. You're pretty good friends with, but it's just like when you're not in this world, you just think like, oh wow, like they're on TV and they're these TV stars. And then when you're actually in the world, it's like those people were doing open mics the day before they got SNL.
Oh, especially SNL, yeah.
Like they just plucked them out of not obscurity. Like the people who got it are very talented, but it's just so. It's so funny that whatever work drama you have where it's like that person got how'd that person get a promotion? They became a senior.
Yeah.
They became a senior advisor and I'm still advisor.
Right.
Like that's what we have, but it's literally like
bar shows to 30 Rock.
I'll be like, I got like a audition for like a How I Met Your Father like one-off little role. And I'm like, that's who got it?
Yeah.
And it's just so bizarre that it's funny that it's instead of talking at the water cooler, it's like, oh, they're the ones who got that $10,000.
That's why a lot of comedians, I think we're talking about this Keecher too, a lot of us go crazy because it's like you feel as though any given moment could totally change your life.
Yeah, and there's so many people who popped late. Like John Hamm was like teaching acting classes to kids, and then like in his 40s popped off. Bill Burr popped late, whatever. And you see someone like Matt Rife who's been doing this. We talked about this last episode since he was 15, and then all of a sudden. Bang, 11 million
a lot of
TikTok
it is
followers.
Like people don't see the actual work that I get beforehand, but
do you have sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, no.
Well, do you have this because Matt Rife seems fairly ubiquitous now with like younger people, like people who aren't even like comedy fans if they've seen Matt Rife. And so I like my little sister's friends will be like, "Oh, your brother to stand up," and like I can see that he kind of has Matt Rife vibes. I'm like, I am nothing like Matt Rife at all, but that's their only connection to stand up comedy.
Right.
So that's like that. Like it'd be back in the day, like if someone was like, "Oh, you do comedy? Oh yeah, I could see how you're like Jerry Seinfeld." And it's like like that's just a completely different comedian than me. But that's like people's only access to stand up comedy. Right. So now people are like trying to be like compare me to Matt Rife who don't know comedy. I'm like, that's not how this.
Yeah, man. I get compared to actors a lot. Like I get some girl came up to me at the club the other night, a couple weeks ago, was like, "You look like Lakeith Stanfield." Like, because they're tall and our beards don't connect. Like that's really like that's
not the beard's not connecting.
That's the only real similarity. And him even talking about looking like Larry David. It's like how much does he? Yes, but like how much does he really look like Larry David?
Right. It's funny that there's just so many regular looking people that, but for whatever reason, people do a really good job of taking things as insults. Like being said, oh, you look like a young Larry David. I would just think like, yeah, Larry David is old now. You look like a young person,
Right.
like
More
him. And
fit.
but he takes it as, oh, you look like him when he was unsuccessful. Or people tell me I look like Logic, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'll be like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And they don't mean anything by it at all. Real quick, before we get out of here, we never did we've at the beginning, we were just so excited about talking about your birthday and getting to Eli.
Yeah.
We need to trademark Danny Sellers' mental health check.
Quick and simple. It's the exhaustion for me.
Someone
That's it.
You sounded like the auntie who just downloaded TikTok for the first time and is trying to be relatable to their niece and nephew.
It's the exhaustion for me.
Whoa. This is why if y'all listening, you gotta check out the video format of this because you just missed some great dance move by
You
Danny.
can probably hear my jacket.
Cool. Well, usually we do, since you did the mental health check at the end, usually do an ism, life lessons with Danny. I'll give a quick one.
Yeah, give us an ism.
Yeah, I'll fill in for you today because I gotta fucking put the team on my back. Just kidding. Also, sorry for the curse word, Dad.
Good one.
I'm gonna get to whatever. Here's my ism. There's after being all jokey and this is my serious ism for the day. There is a big difference between knowing there's nothing to say and not knowing what to say.
Okay.
Like there's a big difference between knowing there's nothing to say and not knowing what to say. Like I've been like going through tough times, and that's like it is something where it's like, oh yeah, that situation is so bad, that family, like it's so bad that people just there truly is nothing to say. But people who act like that they know there's nothing to say, they just show up and they're just like, I know there's nothing I can say right now. I'm gonna just be present with you.
Mm-hmm.
But people who don't know what to say are just like, well, I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
I just told you it's not gonna get better. Like I just told you
that is some
there's
real,
no getting better.
That is some real shit. Cause I feel that 1,000. I understand that. I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about this comedian Disa Young Fly, who wife or partner just passed away. Had 3 kids together. She died via plastic surgery. And I think about that as we become more popular and quote unquote famous, how hard it is to deal with the things in the public eye. Like there's people that listen to our show that are like, what are they going through? You know, about you and I or whatever. Like, probably, you know, like people really are starting to fuck with us in that way, especially you built the audience. So it is such a weird thing where how do you do it in the public eye? Do you do it? Do you call someone? Do you just show up and just are around?
Right.
Because I sometimes when things happen to me, I don't like to be flooded with stuff because that's more responsibility. I got to reply to it, say thank you.
Right.
I got to answer your phone call. I'm in the middle of fucking doing something. I got to talk to you for 8 minutes and re-explain why my life is where it is or whatever. It's like bro, that is such a real statement. Because when I went through what I went through early this year and breaking up and stuff, I did not want to just, if I could have just posted on Instagram like, hey, I'm single now. Yeah. I would have loved to have done that.
Right. But there's so much like baggage that would come with that.
But I'm also not famous, so it's weird for me. Like, you know what I'm
There's
saying?
no press announcement. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just put this in a group text like, hey, y'all, this is.
Yeah. And then it's in the back of your head, like, do I need to make this announcement to people or do they already know? Or do I like.
It's crazy.
This is a big, like, and you have something going on that's like, well, I want to tell everybody, but I don't just want to shout it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the knowing there's nothing you can say. Like a lot of people that we have on the podcast are people that I'm like acquainted with, or some of them that I don't really know at all. And part of that's by design because it makes it more fun to like do research on someone I don't know. Eli, like I have a legitimate friendship with, and he's the perfect example of like, going through a tough family situation. And there's a lot of people like, hey, I'm sorry you're going through that. And that's nice. But Eli literally was like, hey, I know you must be going through a lot right now. If you need me to like post on your social media for you, like if you need me to actually like caption it and edit and post for you, and you just want to give me the material, I will do that for you, which is insanely generous. But the thing that stuck out to me is like a lot of people are just like, hey, let me know if you need anything. I'm like, well, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't even know what I need, or I don't even know who I can ask, or it's exhausting to even ask. And like someone like him who's just like, I'm going to give that's like the most thoughtful thing ever. I'm like, oh yeah, that would save me a lot of time if I need you to do that.
1,000%.
So that's my little ism is show up for people and like show up in specific ways.
And don't do it in a way that makes you feel better.
Yeah, and don't put the burden on them. Don't put like,
a lot of times
let me know.
People do things because that's the way they want it. And that's like, it's selfish in the way that you're trying to show up for somebody.
Yeah.
Versus I'm going to show up the way you want me to show up for you in this time of need. But it makes me feel better when I send you, roses and call you up every day. You know? It makes me feel better when I post about you on social media.
Right.
Oh, sorry for your loss. I don't give a fuck about those things. I care about these things when people show up for me.
Right. Yeah. You got to match their love language instead of your own. So
love, grief language. Is there a grief language?
I'm sure there is, but yeah, that's to get very real at the end of the pod. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Obviously, we like to joke around, but we got you got to give some of the real stuff too.
People enjoy our little fake seriousness, though.
Yeah, the authenticity, But I hate you so much, Danny. Never just out of the end. Just got to lash out.
Real when podcasting gets real.
I get vulnerable, so I just started lashing out. Thank you so much for listening. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, share. Hey guys, if you like this podcast and if it's not too much for you, post on your little Instagram story a screenshot that you listen to it, and then people are like, ooh, what's that? Or send it to a friend that you might think likes. We're building this whole following brick by brick.
For us doing live comedy. If you're in the Midwest,
we're a Black-owned business. So
that's funny. That was good.
Appreciate y'all. We love you. Goodbye.